Oh, Wiretap. That's another card in Dragon's Legend. I don't actually get the hype. To me, it's just a different flavor of.
I really do have to look into this set. I'm hearing that it's like, other than Soul Charge, which has the possibility of being extremely broken. I'm calling it limited one.
I do think it's extremely broken. However, I do like that it's probably the first card that we've had in a long time that gives every single deck a monstrous play.
The only thing is,
so you'll see a lot of decks be able to kind of hold their own a lot better now that they have a way to just flood the board as well.
Honestly, it seems like it's something that I would use to replace Rekindling in my Flammable Zombies. Yes. I told you I run eccentric decks. I run Flammable Zombies. There's a lot of synchro capability in that deck. Any decks that run zombies.
Flambeaus, they're rekindling. They can only kindle once now. They can't even rekindle.
We can only rekindle once.
I'd say the card name doesn't even make sense anymore. They can't rekindle. They can only kindle. They can only kindle.
It was a sad day when I saw rekindling on the list. And we have Koty. Is that Angelov?
I think that's Angie.
Oh, we got Koty. We got Koty Angelov. He's another one of our players. He's pretty high ranked on Dueling Network. You've probably seen him. Doom Cal. It is, what is it? Parentheses ARG. It's ARG in parentheses Doom Cal.
Yeah,
Koty's actually extremely good. Multiple regional tops, multiple top 8s.
Yeah, it's nice to see. Yeah. I was against Wes, one of our commentators, one of our illustrious commentators.
Wes had my spot last week. I ended up judging. I wanted to be in here. I wanted to be in front of the camera with the fans.
I don't know. This is fun. This is awesome. I want to be here for you.
Oh, Koty's running puppets. I knew there was someone else that ran puppets here.
And there he has his lucky.
Oh, it looks like Wes is gonna be going first. And Wes was one of our commentators from last week. You'll be able to also catch him on our YouTube channel if you go to watch the replays. Again, like our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Crimson Castle Games. Tell all your friends to like our YouTube channel.
Yep.
Follow us on Twitter at #CCastleEvents. #CC3YGO.
Okay, so Koty's going to give the puppets a try. The deck has a lot of good plays, and we have Wes playing Geargia. As you saw, Geargia are really solid cards, and it looks like he's living the dream once again.
I wonder
that
if it's
full
armor
back
face down.
row. If it's armor face down, then yeah, that's the dream.
I've actually seen Koty run puppets. He's actually really good with it.
See, puppets, if they get their engine going, they have a lot of powerful plays. Those rank 8s are
very destructive.
Yes.
They either have a really nice destruction effect or they have a very nice protection effect. Felgrand and Heliopolis, those are the rank 8s that you're going to want to go to.
Yes. Those are the main two.
I'm surprised Koty's not running.
They also have their
Mermails, actually. I was watching him run Mermails the other night on Dueling Network.
Here we go. Now we're going to see some gimmick puppet action.
Did you know that Koty's sponsored?
Yes, he's sponsored by ARG.
No, he's sponsored by Ultra Pro.
Ultra Pro. Really, Ultra Pro. How's he going to ARG then?
He explained it to me. It's a long story.
Okay.
See, there we go. Heliopolis.
That Blackhorn.
Oh, main deck Blackhorn.
Say, yeah, you don't often see that. Blackhorn's usually good against those.
I'm honestly not used to seeing Blackhorn main decks, but
you usually see it as a one-of. I run it as a one-of in a few of my decks, like main one, side one. It's more of a meta call if you're expecting to see a lot of these.
Is that Train? That's not Train. You're the one that's familiar with the puppets.
I just know that that's the one that can special summon itself by banishing, and that's another puppet. That's a puppet centered monster reborn that he just played. It's a monster reborn exclusively for gimmick puppets.
He's going for his extra. Is he going to summon another Heliopolis, or is he going to summon Felgrand?
Say at this point he's already baited out some back row.
Gimmick puppet.
Oh. And bottomless. Heaven Strings is really nice. It puts a string counter on everything but itself, And then at the end phase of your opponent's next turn, everything with a string counter dies.
And they take 500 life points damage for each card destroyed by
Yes.
effect.
And also, it has a really good Chaos Exceed where it just immediately nukes everything with string targets. So
You know what rank 8? I want to see summon. I want to see Destiny Leo. I want to see Destiny Leo. I've yet to see anybody successfully get off Destiny Leo's effect.
I'd say I know his Chaos one is weird.
Yeah, I looked at his Chaos card. I was not impressed.
Yeah, it's kind of sad since Destiny Leo was actually an iconic part of that show.
Are we going for Gigant? We are.
Yep, Gigant just
But
very safe play.
Speaking of things that did not impress me, Bleach this week.
It's Kenpachi! Kenpachi! He cut a meteor in half. Some people are so hard to please.
But we got Gigant going for Accelerator.
Okay.
We're going to Special Summon Accelerator. Special Summon 2 Accelerator. Wait, no? Yes.
Yeah, one was off Accelerator's own effect, one was off the Geargia and own effect.
And we're going to go for another Gigant.
Just when in doubt.
One does not simply win using Destiny Leo's effect. Very well played, sir. Very well played. I don't think any people use Destiny Leo. I would love to see some. If somebody has footage of Destiny Leo,
The only
please
time
let us know.
Destiny Leo was featured in a lot of those rank 8 centric decks, you usually see him as a one of. You saw him as a one of back when Final Countdown was popular.
Final Countdown.
Because it was an instant win against Final Countdown. Because they have to wait 20 turns, you have to wait 3.
Yeah, but the only thing is, you can't have any spells or traps on your field to use Destiny Leo's effect.
Final Countdown doesn't run anything to threaten your Leo. They just run a bunch of stall. So
True.
Final Countdown is all of a sudden.
Card game and cleaning products. Yes, this stream really does have everything.
Yes.
Is it a solemn? No, it's a chain. It's looking like Geargia. Looks like Geargia is going to take this matchup. It's just like this is not the day for puppets.
Yeah, what he did was he chained the level 1, the small puppet. See, what the small puppet gets to do is it gets to mimic other puppets. So that's how you get it, but since he chained it, it didn't get its effect to mimic the other puppet's level.
So he was stuck with one level 8 puppet, one level 1 puppet.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Neither one of them are tuners, so he couldn't go the synchro route either.
Oh, did Koty sided anything in? It doesn't look like Koty sided anything.
He's confident in
looks
this.
like,
or maybe I think
it
he
looks
might
like
just
West might side. Is that a D fissure I see peeking at the corner?
D
oh
fissure.
no, it looks like Koty is about to side.
Yep. Okay, some sides against puppets. Obviously, D fissure is pretty strong since puppets are very graveyard centric.
You could also side. What is it? Soul Drain.
Soul Drain, yes, that prevents a lot of the puppets from special summoning themselves in the graveyard.
He won't need Light Imprisoning Mirror, that's for sure.
I'd say Light Imprisoning. That's only if you want to hit that Felbrand.
Yes, puppets are TCG legal. Are they getting more support coming up in the next set?
No, I think they might be getting the Chaos Leo, and if you count that as support in Dragons of Legend, but.
You know what cards I am looking forward to? Artifacts.
Artifacts.
I am looking forward to Artifacts.
Artifacts.
That's
Primal Origins. Artifacts are level 5 fairies that you
can set in your spell and trap zone face down, and when they get destroyed by a spell and trap, some of them get the special summon to the field, and if they're destroyed on your opponent's turn, they get usually get a lasting little destruction effect or a special summon effect, depending on which artifact monster you was destroyed. And they come with their own built-in mystical space typhoon.
So, artifact movement and theocracy of the artifacts to search.
I'm actually thinking of building wind-up artifacts.
That's probably the strongest build, although a lot of things are running artifacts. You see Harpy Fax, Dolce Fax.
I would just think wind-up facts. First, that or Gaga got facts, I think.
Galaxy Facts. You see Galaxy Facts?
Soul Charge will definitely break the format more.
Soul Charge, actually, Soul Charge, honestly enough, kind of gives Artifacts a run for their money because...
We don't need two things to break the format.
Well, I mean, Artifacts will obviously run Soul Charge, but I think Soul Charge actually allows you to do Artifacts. I think Soul Charge is kind of a mixed blessing because a lot of the top decks are top decks precisely because they can flood the field.
Like Elemental Dragons, for example, they
don't
really. I don't really think that Elemental Dragons really need Soul Charge because they do a great job of maintaining field presence at all times.
Yes, but Soul Charge gives a lot of decks that don't have a really good flood potential. It gives them that flood potential. So,
like decks that like already have like those effects that are built in where they special summon from the graveyard really easy. You're not really going to want to run
Soul Charge because
there's not really going to be any point. Like zombies, for example, zombies don't really need Soul Charge. They have built-in special summoning effects. They got their Mizukis, your Play Spreaders, your Zombie Masters.
Geargia, with their Geargia and X, they dig from the graveyard so often. They usually don't get the graveyard loaded for a good Soul Charge. So
it just depends. It's going to depend on what deck you're running. If you're not running a deck that's going to be very graveyard heavier, that's very graveyard reliant, you're probably not going to need to run Soul Charge in it.
I believe Prio's going to be our Nationals format. So it's not going to last too long before the next ban list, but you're going to have Nationals. Worlds is going to have a new ban list. And then after Worlds, we get that September list.
And we see another Geargia.
So this is the first time we're going to have an exclusive Worlds list, so that's going to be interesting. Since last year the Pacific side of things of the game, the Pacific and Atlantic parts of the game now have two different lists. So, but we're still going to have the same list. They're going to have to have the same list for Worlds, obviously. So Worlds is going to have their own list.
Makes me wonder what Koty has face down. He didn't have anything to stop Geigen's attack. He took the 23 straight on.
Yeah, usually again, you want a D prison for that guy. Just banish him. Get him.
So many good cards limited to one. So many good cards limited to one.
Well, D prison isn't
not D prison, but I missed double bottomless. Was that Valor?
Yeah, that was a Valor. And he attacked.
Is that a handful of spells? I see. Is that Infernal Reckless Summon? That is Infernal Reckless Summon.
It's potentially good in puppets since all the puppets are very small, so you can...
Infernal Reckless, for those of you who don't know, when you special summon a monster to your side of the field with 1500 or less attack, I do believe, you get to special summon all copies of that monster from either your hand, deck, or graveyard. The only downside to it is your opponents get to special summon one monster. As long as there's a monster on their side of the field that they can special summon, they get to do the exact same thing. They also have to have a monster face up, I do believe, for you to use Infernal Reckless Summon's effect. Infernal Reckless.
It's nice in situations like this since
he has no monsters, and his opponent won't get to special summon a Gear Gigant from his extra deck.
The reason why you wouldn't necessarily want to run Soul Charge even in decks because the card does have drawbacks. You have to skip the battle phase the turn you activate it.
Yep. And you don't really want to activate it if you're.
And you still have to pay life points, and life points are going to be a bit more out of a premium the coming formats, just because of a lot of the rush. I doubt they're probably going to still run a copy or so because it is a powerful card and it is still a flood option. It's just a lot of these decks, they want to be able to consistently get to these sort of combos that you're seeing here. They want to consistently get to their Geargia combos, their Geargia gear combos, their Geargia and IO combos.
Is that
Soul of the Silver Mountain?
But you also got to take into consideration what your opponent is running. If your opponent is running a deck where they can summon high attack, high level monsters easily in one turn, as we've seen some people do, you have to be really careful about how much of your life points you're planning on spending to use Soul Charge.
Yes. So if you have a deck that naturally just summons one or two monsters from the grave, you're not necessarily sure if you want to commit to those huge 4,000 life point 4 monsters.
For me, Soul Charge would be one of those moments where I'm trying to make a push for game.
Yes. And like I said, it's a way for decks who can't flood the board. It gives them a way to flood the board.
But it's looking like.
Although, as you guys said, it is you should keep.
Geargia takes it 2-0. Very convincingly, 8,000.
Yeah.
Oh, he did side in Fisher. He did.
Yeah, he had the.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, you can't. We haven't gotten to see a good puppet game. Game one, you actually got to see a lot of the. You got to see a lot of the puppet effects go off.
But
unfortunately,
bottomless Blackhorn.
Yeah.
Hate to see those types of things happen.
Yeah, so I'd say you got to see those plays. Unfortunately, he just had the back row. You just had the exact back row he needed.
You know what I miss? Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm.
Well,
I miss Heavy Storm so much.
Yeah, Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm had Healthy Storm. I think is a really overpowered card that has a healthy effect on the game. So it's one of those things where you almost think it's kind of good.
You have to consider, do you want to be able to try to heavy and go for a push, or do you want to live in the summon? Oh, that reminds me. Summon Ryo, set 5 in turn.
Yeah, that's the classic thing. See, Heavy had the very healthy effect on the game where, because of the threat of losing your entire
it slowed down the game.
Spell and Trap Zone to Heavy, you couldn't just set all your back row without some sort of contingency. So you really had to be careful of how you played your back row, and inversely, because you had to be careful with your back row, you had to be careful with your front row, since you rely on your spells and traps to protect your monsters. So, yes, the game was actually, oddly enough, slow formats are usually centered around Heavy Storm, because Heavy Storm is having that effect where people don't want to invest too many monsters to the field because they're afraid of the immediate spells and traps, and they don't necessarily want to set too many spells and traps to protect their monsters because of the threat of Heavy. So
a lot of people say they don't like Heavy. Honestly, I prefer formats with Heavy. I would think.
It's
my Gladiator Beast deck loves that there is no Heavy.
Yeah. I'd say there are decks that certainly love.
Traps as I want.
Yeah, there's decks that certainly just love the hyper control that you get from just being able to set your entire hand down.
And we do have another game. Getting ready to head to the stream. We're not sure what the matchup is yet, but we do have another game getting ready to head to the stream.